Hi guys, welcome or welcome back to my
Discussing
channel.
about bonds. But before I started, I have inserted a few pictures in this, and these pictures I have taken from Google. So I don't know who the creators of these images really are. So forgive me for that, and I can mention the creators if you find them on the net or something like that. So now beginning with the actual topic, there is burns. Now, what are burns? If I want to put it in one line, they are injury to the epidermis, occasionally to the dermis and subcutaneous fat as well. But there is no particular definition for burns because it is just a type of injury. Now, how will we define a type of injury, right? Now, first we will be discussing the causes of burns. Now, the causes of burns include thermal burns, radiation burns, electric burns, chemical burns, and friction burns. Now, we would be discussing each of them in detail. Thermal burns occur whenever there is something we come in contact with something hot. This can be boiling water, this can be steam, hot pots, pans in the kitchen, or anything such that. Now, one thing here that when we compare hot liquids and steam, steam is always more dangerous because steam is at a higher temperature than boiling water. So we should be careful with steam as well. Second type is radiation burns. Now, radiation, as we can see, radiation means some to do with radiations. This can be nuclear, this can be from the sun, or this can be in medical settings through radiation therapy. So when a person has cancer and has been recommended radiation therapy, they can get burns because of prolonged exposure. Second is sun. When we are out in the sun and we do not apply a sunblock, then get what is known as sun rashes or sunburns, right? And they can be painful, and in susceptible individuals, it can even lead to blistering if it is very, very severe. Then it can also occur when in cases of a nuclear leak, but since it's very rare, we do not discuss it very commonly. Now, electrical burns. Third type is electrical burns. Now, what are electrical burns? They are basically when a high voltage current passes through our body. It is known as electrical burns. They can occur from wiring at home, like if a small child puts his hand in a socket or touches a live wire, which is not encased in plastic, it can cause electrical burn. So there will be an entry and an exit kind of a point over here. Now, uh, so we should be careful when you will be handling electrical appliances as well. Now, the fourth one is chemical burns. Now, they can be caused by various chemicals which are very strong and react with react with proteins, we can say, because skin is also a protein, is made of proteins, right? Mm, so these chemicals can include acids, they can include alkalis, they can include a lot of stuff, and they are most common at industrial sites because at industrial sites we usually are using um, chemicals for purifying or any other industrial work. Last but not the least are friction burns. Very important still because what happens is sometimes we are holding a rope or we are holding something which is very hard or rope like, then and it suddenly is pulled out of our hand, we can get what is known as a friction burn. This also happens most commonly in case of a RTA, which is road traffic accident, because we will go sliding on a road and the road is made of gritty substances that will lead to friction and burning, and that is also known as road rash. Now, these were the causes of burns. Now we will be moving on to the types of burns. We all know that there are three degrees of burns: first degree, second degree, third degree, right? But we don't know that there are actually five types of burns depending on the of the skin involved. So the first one is epidermal, which is first degree. Now, second degree burns have two types, that is superficial and deep. And second degree burns are also called partial thickness. So Superficial partial thickness is one type. Second type of second degree burn is deep partial thickness burns. We'll learn about them in detail in later on. Third degree is full thickness burns, and there is also something called as a fourth degree burn, which is a subdermal burn. Now, epidermal burns. So, first degree burns, also called as epidermal burns, because they just affect the upper layer of the skin, called as epidermis. And there are no blisters usually in epidermal burns, and they will blanch to touch. Now, what happens is whenever there is an epidermal burn, our skin turns red, right? Redness and pain is the only two symptoms. Not very painful, but a little bit painful, right? And redness. So that redness will blanch on touch. So we will know that it is not due to some vasodilation or anything like that. And it will heal on its own in 1 or 2 days. It will heal on its own. There will be no scarring, and it heals not in 1 to 2 days, but a week's time approximately. Okay? The second type of burns are superficial partial thickness burns. Second degree burns, superficial thickness type. They involve epidermis and half of the dermis. The skin remains pink and moist and remains tender because our dermis has nerve endings, right? So it will be painful, and it will be more painful than our first degree burns. Okay, there will be blistering. So in our epidermis, there is no blistering when it reaches even half the depth of dermis, there will be blistering and it will be painful. And we should keep the blisters intact. Now, why is that so? Because it is a way of our body to prevent infections. That's why blisters should not be popped unless and until it is in a medical supervised scenario and under a dermatologist. We can go ahead, but in very, very rare circumstances, at home, never pop a blister. It will increase infection risk. They are extremely painful, as already discussed, and they have a risk of scarring more because your dermis does not really takes a long time to get replaced, and it will it- and dermis is a living layer. So what will happen? It will make your live cells die, right? Your live cells will die, and because of that, it will be replaced by collagen and scarring. That's why it will lead to scarring. Now, deep partial burns means that in superficial partial thickness, only half of the dermis was involved. But in deep partial, there is epidermis, but I can say two-thirds of the epidermis is involved, and majority of the depth of the epidermis is involved, but the entire dermis is not involved, right? So a little bit of dermis is still left. The skin becomes white and pale and does not blunt on touch. Why? Because the blood vessels also get destroyed. Blisters can be present, but they may be present, may not be present. But why? Because a majority of the dermis, which is alive, is gone, is burnt out. So blisters might also not be present. And sensations. Now, dermis also contains your nerves. If blood vessels are going, your nerves will also be destroyed. So sensations will be diminished, but they will not be absent because a little bit of nerves in the intact dermis are still there. That is why there will be a little bit of sensation, but very, very less. And very high risk of scarring because now your entire dermis, almost entire dermis is gone. So scarring will be present. Now, full thickness burns. These full thickness will involve your entire dermis and epidermis. And it will also go into your hypodermis, but your hypodermis will be preserved. Now, the layers of the skin are like we can see over here. The first degree burns are just a little bit on the top. Second degree, okay, a little going into the dermis, but not involving the entire dermis. But third degree, which is full, will involve your entire skin. I'm sorry, will involve your entire skin over here. So those are full thickness burns. Now they will cause the skin to become dry, leathery, white, black, cherry red. All these things, dry, leathery. Why? Your skin is gone. Your skin is gone. Like the layer of the skin is gone. What is left is your hypodermis, which is just a supportive tissue. So when it comes back, it will become leathery and dry. Now, the burn site, on the burn site, your blood vessels are gone and your nerves are gone. So sensations on the burn site are gone. But on the surrounding area of the burn, the nerves are still present and the blood vessels are also present. So since the nerves of the surrounding area are getting exposed to the environment, it will be very, very painful condition. And in this, there is no healing capacity because there is no blood vessels. Blood is the major carrier of healing power. So there is no healing capacity and there is highest risk for infection because no layer of skin is intact. There is no barrier. So highest risk of infection and stuff. So most probably we will give silver nitrate. I don't know how much do we give it in today's scenario, but we can give silver nitrate to prevent infections and skin grafting can be done or such can be done still in full thickness. But in subdermal burns, what happens is you have lost everything under the skin also. It will involve your fat, it will involve muscle, it will involve bone. There is nothing left of that area. So there will be charred and skeletonized appearance. Bones do not burn as easily. So that is why there will be bone which will be left, but everything else will be gone. So there will be no sensation, nothing, no healing capacity. There will be nothing. Highest risk of infection and amputation is the only thing where we can treat this. Right? There is no sensations required amputation because it will not heal and your bone will be exposed to the environment. And if your bone is exposed, it can lead to osteomyelitis and a host of infections leading to sepsis. Right? Here we can see, mm, yeah, here we can see the type of burns first degree affecting only the upper layer. It can be red but without any blisters and it heals in approximately a week. Second degree, two types. Now here we say that it is partial thickness. Now what it means, a part of the epidermis is involved. Now how much part? Half or less than half? If it is half or less than half, it will be superficial thickness, a superficial partial thickness. And if it is more than half but less than full, it will be deep partial thickness burns. It will blister because there is involvement of dermis, so fluid will come in, and it is painful because nerves are again exposed and they are affected. And if it goes into deep partial, might need grafting, might heal on its own, depending on the amount of dermis left. Because on the dermis also there are cells. Now there are cells, and if those regenerated cells are not lost, it can heal on its own, but it will take very long time. Third degree, which is full thickness, means your epidermis is gone, your dermis is also entirely gone. What you can see, what you will be seeing is basically your hypodermis. So, nerves are so painful factor. Epidermis not so painful, not so painful, but a little bit painful because your nerves are irritated, so it will be a little bit painful. Second degree will be painful because it is going into the dermis, nerves are getting affected. Third degree will I'm sorry, it will have very less sensations, whatever your hypodermis has, if it has any, very less sensations. And your fourth degree, which is your entire subdermal burns, that will have no pain, nothing, amputation, grafting, if can be done, bones, muscles are left, then you can graft and see. Right, so might be healed by grafting depending upon what condition it is. If your muscles and bones are intact, we can see grafting we can do. Otherwise, we will not do any grafting. Now here, it is just a discussion about what are friction burns. When an hard object rubbing off your skin, it is called a friction burn. Now it can be from abrasion to a heat burn depending upon, like if you are gliding off of a road, or like if you're in a RT and you're gliding off of a road, that would be an abrasion. And or if somebody you are holding a rope and somebody suddenly pulls it, it would be a heat burn. A carpet burn, somebody slides on another carpet, that can be a carpet burn. Cold burns, also called as frostbite. Basically, what happens is your skin gets so much frozen suddenly that it can burn. I've not heard of it, but it can happen. And it doesn't happen like if you're on the mountains and you remove your warm coverings and you sit there for a very, very long time, frostbite can happen, can give you cold burns. Thermal burns, as discussed, they are basically very hot objects, boiling water, steam, anything which is hot, thermal burns. Radiation burns, again, because of radiations like sunburns, radiations from X-rays, radiation therapy, etc. Chemical burns, strong acid solvents, detergents, mostly occurs in the industries, and electrical burns from the electrical equipments. So I guess that was it for burns, and it covers almost everything. Thank you for watching, and hope you have a great day ahead.
Hope you like my videos. Do like, share, and subscribe for more such content.